Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here. I hope you're having a good weekend. Today we're going to be doing more of the design of the Q2 Stadium, the Austin FC Q2 Stadium. But I think about halfway through, we'll probably switch over to working on a microfighter. We've got Phee's Starship from the Bad Batch. Flip over to that about halfway, probably. I think I half started it, and I think we could probably get that done pretty quickly. But I had some ideas that I wanted to keep going on the stadium. So without further ado, let's jump over to that. So we left it kind of with all this stuff kind of around it, and I didn't do a whole lot after that. We're going to keep working on it. So this is probably the scale. Nanofig scale that the stadium will be, because I think it's kind of the size of the seats. We can probably populate. If it turns out not to be, I'll just keep the figures out of it. If it turns out, I feel like it might be a little bigger than Nanofig, but definitely not minifig. It's way too big. It's way too small for minifig scale. And minifig scale would be ridiculously large. I can't imagine ordering 20,000 minifigures. That would just be ridiculous. And I'm not going to fill all these seats with nano figures. It's going to be an empty seat, or it's just going to be an empty stadium. So, I'm not going to stress myself out about that. At some point, too, this thing will become pretty large, and the number of pieces on it will start slowing my computer down. So at some point, once it'll help to have the seating arrangements finalized and figured out how they're going to attach and everything, and then contain those in groups. That should help with the memory a little bit, but it still has to remember where all these pieces are. So it may be that we will do the base sections first, do some of the walk around pathways first. It might be in giant chunks, but and then the roof we'll have to do next. But yeah, so good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you had having a good weekend. It's storming here in Austin. It's going to be raining most of the day. We got some good thunderstorms this morning so far. Beth is asleep. Otherwise, she would be hating it. The dogs don't seem terribly minded by it, so we're here at this point. You can kind of see how big a person is compared to the seats by these people standing in front of it. They do tend to stand pretty close together, so if I were to take one of these guys and put them down here, so you could kind of see how big they are compared to... Yeah, this is going to be slightly bigger, I think, than nanofig scale. These screens around here, although this is pretty good right here. This is pretty close. Like if these are about hip height. So this is close. But I think including nanofigs might be a bit of a distraction, to which I think this area could probably be a little taller. So game last night, Austin FC did win. It was a pretty rad game. We were playing LAFC, or no, were we playing LA Galaxy? I forgot who we were playing last night. We were playing, I think, LA Galaxy. Yeah, that's not LAFC. So we were playing the team that our, not star player, but our like heart player was traded to last year. So it was bittersweet because we were able to see him on the field again, and everybody cheered for him, and he waved at the supporter section and cheered back at them. But look at all the yellow cards they got. They got two. We got two. We got three. Oh, I thought they got more than that. I thought they got... Look, we got more yellow cards. Interesting. We also got 2 goals, so there you go. It was a great game. Like, Austin looked fantastic, which was kind of a shock considering how not fantastic they've looked all season up until about 2 or 3 games ago. And then now things just seem to be clicking a little bit, so it was really great. So it was good being at the stadium. Again, these are our seats. This is all general admission, this section. This is the supporter section. This is all general admission. So if you get a $30 ticket, $25 ticket, $30 ticket, I forgot how much they were, you can sit anywhere over here. We generally have the Los Verdes group kind of sit in like the front few rows here and mostly in the middle here. And then La Murga, which is the band, sits like about 5 or 6 rows up, and they take up the whole row, and it's the band. It's the tubas and the drums and the trumpets. And they're there to play the songs and keep us singing. And then we will sit usually right about here. We've got a couple that get there super early and they'll hold seats for us. So, but it's general admission. You can show up and sit wherever you want. And if people sit there, we can be like, we're going to stand next to you because we usually stand here, but they won't care. They'll be like, all right. So I think this building's probably going to be a little bigger. I knew when I was building it, it probably needed to be a little taller. I do want to add, and this is probably not going to mean anything eventually because I'll probably end up redoing this whole section, but I kind of wanted to get a feel for it. I think there's going to be a whole other thing here. I hate that minimize key so much. I just hate it. I kind of want to like put tape over it or take it off or like disable it in the system or something. It's just so obnoxious. Let's alternate from here. I do like alternating bricks. For now, let's do this because I don't know where the doors are going to be. I'm just doing this to scale or to get an idea of where everything is going to be. And then we'll put these guys back on top. So not really a whole lot since last time we talked, or last time I streamed about what's going on in Lego World. I know that the Animal Crossing stuff is out again, or now, and is pretty big deal for some people. I see the sets and I'm not super thrilled about them, but you know, everybody has their own thing. I know a lot of people are excited about it. I think that's going to be a little better. I wanted to, while I was at the game yesterday, walk through this section and kind of like, I needed to do a walkthrough and take a video just around the concourse so I know what all the buildings look like, because I know there's doors in here that I want to kind of keep track of. Again, this is going to be stuff that you can't, if it's on display somewhere and it's behind like glass or something, you can walk around it. There's going to be whole chunks that nobody's going to be able to see. But in designing it and putting it together, I'd like to be able to, as we're building it, show kind of the insides and outs of the thing. I might try to see if I can get into some like the Lexus Club or the Captain Morgan grill or whatever it is, and like take some pictures so I can have the insides of those. It's not going to be terribly detailed or built out. I might just do the outsides of it. I don't know. But my primary concern, of course, is also getting these to be in place and stable. So one thing I think I can probably do, I have a feeling this needs to be up a little more at a better angle. This is another thing that I need to worry about or work on. If you look at how it, you know, and this is probably taken from a drone or maybe a zoom lens from straight across the field on the north side. But I'd guess they were sitting right about here on the north side, which is about as high as the north side goes. So if you look at the north side, that's just another image of that. See if it's got an image of the north side, the north end. So that's the, yeah, this is pretty good. If you look at this, the concourse, the same concourse that's right about here is where this ends, right? So this only goes up to about the same height as this all the way around. All the way around, right? And then this goes up a little higher. I don't know why these seats were colored differently early on. I can't tell if this is still a render or what. It looks like it's an actual game day or an actual event or something, and people just aren't in their seats yet. There's people here. But I don't remember these seats being different colors. Or like there's different colors along here too. I feel like they've changed this. But you can see the different colors in all the seats. It's kind of, it's meant to look like the leaves of a tree. So. Okay. Oops. Closing that off. So this whole section, yeah, it just feels like it either needs to be tilted up a little bit, or I need to figure out the spacing to be a little taller. Which is going to be hard at this point to differentiate this whole thing, but I could probably move it and just grab that section. This all needed to be in a group, and I didn't do it, and then I built this around it, which is, you know, a problem. But I can move this away, and we can kind of adjust if we need to. I think this is the right angle. I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure out... This seems like it may be a little higher or steeper of an angle. Like, I can't really tell from these photos, like, what the angle is, but it feels like... Come on. It might be a little higher, but not much. All right, so let's try that. Let's work on moving all this out of the way. Make sure to grab everything over here and just move it. all this. I'm going to get rid of all these things over here because I don't think I'm going to need any of them. I know what the nano figures are, and I know how to find them, and I know what size they are. I don't think I'm going to use them. Don't think I'm going to use that thing either. Move this. And this is just a plate. So now, I should probably try to move all this. I'm also going to get rid of these because this is dumb. It's not very stable. It's not any more stable than... I haven't tried to build this. The problem with this setup right now is because I have it kind of set up like this, right? This is about the height of it. So, I mean, this is enough for however many rows this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I think this is one of the rows. I thought this was 30 rows. Maybe 27. Anyway. The concern is that just bricks stacked like this are very, like you push right in the middle. If it's leaning here, right, and it's attached up here, so it gives a good angle like that, then the middle just goes burnt. If you attach it in the middle, then the top gets pushed down. If you attach it at the top and don't support it, it's just going to snap. So this is not ideal. So what I tried to do at one point was put some 2x2 snots, so you have some in the front and some in the back, and then you could use whole plates in the back. And for lack of a better plate, since I don't have any, I've got this road plate. But you have to make sure that it lines up with the snot bricks, and in most cases it won't unless you put a plate in there somewhere, or you figure out what section it lines up with, right? But that would make it a little more sturdy. And then you could just do whole seating sections like that, where you have, you know, the snot bricks backed by some plate. So, but in the meantime, yeah, I want to keep this. So this isn't really attached to anything, so let's get rid of these. Easiest way I know how. Select all those, get rid of those. So, nobody in here yet. I was going to ask what everybody's doing this weekend. But I'll just keep talking about this design. And how the game went last night. Game went great. I, however, am not doing awesome. I'm going to keep these here for now, but I'll probably get rid of them at some point. I don't know if you guys remember the stream Thursday, how I was like, ooh, I don't feel really good. I had taken the I'm going to link this out real quick to threads at least. Because, you know, threads, people will see it tomorrow. Self-deprecating humor is always the best. The What was I talking about? Now I forget. Oh, so Thursday, I had taken the second half of my Shingrix shot because I am old. I'm above 50, and so you need to take this vaccine for shingles, because otherwise you could. If you get shingles when you're old, it's very, very bad for you. You could get you get something worse than shingles for sure. God, there's just no good way to get this all out of the way. I don't think I have any more of these blocks. So I got the first one in November, so I got the second part with my my physical on Thursday. And I didn't think it was, the first one I didn't think would give me a reaction because I also had a COVID vaccine or booster at the same time. So I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. And then Friday or Thursday night, I started feeling really kind of iffy. And then Thursday, like the next day, I was like, I feel terrible. So I called into work and I spent the whole day feeling terrible, like aches and feverish kind of thing. And then we went to see a comedy show that night, and I was like, I'm okay to go somewhere and sit, right? It's not a lot of moving or walking or going, doing a lot of stuff. I was like, I'm okay if I can just sit, because that's all I'm doing at home anyway. So we went to see Kristen Key at Cap City, and she was hilarious. We went with a bunch of people. Got home, wasn't feeling great. Next morning felt a little better, but wasn't, I was like, okay, I'm still a little, I get winded, I get tired. This is so miserable. This is not attached to any of this. So I should be able to grab all of this, but that's all in the way. All right, bold move here. Just gonna move all this at once. So then we went to, and I don't want any of these things anymore. I'll figure it out if we need it later. So I went to see Kristen Key, and it was fun. Came home that night, not feeling great, but better. And then the next day I was like, well, I'm feeling pretty good. I'll go to the Austin FC game. And I promised Beth, I was like, I will not exert myself. I'm going to be in the supporter section. So there's going to be the desire to chant and cheer and do the moves and everything. But I was like, I will do my best to kind of just be muted. I won't shout because my throat's still bothering me anyway. I'll just kind of stand there. And I knew it was going to be a bad thing because we get there and just walking from the car to the stadium, I'm like, I already hurt. So then 2 hours of like just kind of standing there and occasionally cheering, and like the arm hurts from where I got the shot. So I couldn't really raise up one arm. And by the time I got home, I was like, I am so miserable. And then Beth had a migraine while I was gone. So, and this was a day game too. This was, we left at like 10:30 in the morning or something, and we were home by 3:30, so it wasn't even that bad. Let's see if we can do this. It'd be really weird, but I think I can do it. Uh-oh, did I leave some? Oh, okay, cool. Gotta remember that. So it's been a little rough. Today I feel a lot better, but of course, so like when I got home, I'm like, I don't feel too bad if we wanted to do something with our friends tonight. And Beth's like, I have a migraine. I'm like, well, then I guess we're not doing anything, which is fine because I got home and I'm like, I'm probably just need to chill. So we chilled out last night. Is there one specifically I can grab onto? Okay, they've all been moved. The railings need to move. So yeah, today I'm hoping is a little better. We don't have any real plans today. We were gonna go see the new Ghostbusters movie this evening. So that should be pretty chill. And then we had friends plans, but our friends have relatives in town. So we were like, well, maybe not. We'll just see if they want to do anything. But now we're like, I kind of hope they don't want to do anything. So we can kind of convalesce, as it were. But yeah, that's what's been going on. So nothing huge. Oh, I needed to move all these, didn't I? I don't know where these go. I think there. Probably just made a mess of this whole thing, but so I'm selecting by type because I can't really go in here and like drag a box around and select it all. Oh shoot, where'd they go? Did I leave them? Nope. Because I can't, there's just too many things in the way to try to select with a bounding box. There we go, there's that. I don't know what these are, but I think those are too high up. Oh, they are, because they're the sidewalls. Okay. Probably for the best. So these are all the things that are holding it in place. I have to select these one at a time. Well, let's try. I think I only got 2 of those, right? One by 3 tiles. I don't know where to put those. Right there. So now I've got all these plates up here. Basically to hold the tops together. Why is this conflicting? Interesting. I must not have done that right. Okay. What else needs to be moved? That guy. I don't know what these are, where they need to go. Or that guy, or that guy. I think that's it. So these are all in their place now. These seats are just part of this section here. I actually probably do want to put the railings at the bottom, but I'm not really sure. I think I'll do these separately, these bits of railing, so maybe I can select them individually. That's pretty good. I can get in there and select just them and move them all back. Where I had them. There. Where are they not? Who's conflicting? Somebody's conflicting, or else it wouldn't have let me snap that. Okay, well, one of these is wrong. Why is that wrong? Oh. Don't need one of these under the capo stand. Don't need one of these under that capo stand. Or that capo stand. But why is that capo stand not centered? It needs to be moved over. But it needs to also be right here. It needs to be right in the dead center. Okay. Anyway. So if we were going to do this whole section, I would do it in like seating sections. So for instance, if we can figure this out, this whole section would be grouped together, but you can see I've got it. These are snot bricks in the back, so that's going to have to be different. But what I really wanted to do was just raise these up a little bit. Let's get these back over. Oh, hi. Where's the dog? Come here, dog. Come here. Do you want to say hi to absolutely nobody in the chat? Come here. Come here. Your leg is not doing better. Oh, come here. Do you not want some love? Come here to get some love. Did you come here? Why are you running away? What's up, Frankie? Oh, now everybody shows up. Say hi, Aggie. Say I'm not in a good way. My paw hurts and I keep chewing on it. Look at my paw. It's all red. And I keep chewing on it. I don't know to leave well enough alone. Yeah, right. You got a red paw. All right. I'm going to put your cone back on you if you can't keep chewing on that. Good morning, Frankie. Good morning, James. How are you? Thanks for being here. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a good weekend. Where does these go? Go somewhere. Oh, they're just floating now, are they? Yeah, I took those off. All right, fair enough. So I think I posted this in our Discord, our Austin Discord, that I got an offer from. So this dude messaged me on Instagram, and he was like, "Hi, I run a place. It's a car museum slash toy museum, and it's out kind of not in the middle of nowhere, Texas, but it is in. It's not really close to any place, Texas. Where did these go? They went under here, didn't they? There we go. And he wanted to know about buying the Capitol building to have it on display at his toy museum. And it's our Lego museum. It's a car place and Lego museum. Your on screen isn't syncing. What? My on screen isn't syncing. It seems fine. Am I not streaming? All right, let me check something. Oh, the chat. Oh, okay. Let me try something. I think I forgot you have to leave the chat open. So let me pop out the chat. And then do this. I thought you had to leave this window open. I didn't realize you had to leave. So give the chat a go. I'm gonna close this because I don't need two of me running, but the chat window should still be open. Okay. I forget. All right, there we go. Perfect. So the only reason I split all this out is so I can lean it a certain direction. So let's do that. So yeah, Instagram message says, I'm this guy, I run this thing, and I want to buy your Lego. It's just $245. It's a little better. Your Lego Capital to have in my place. And his place is like halfway between Houston and Dallas. It's in this little town called Madisonville. It's called Braze Motors. And it's a car shop, and I don't know. I think they sell classic cars, or they work on classic cars, but they also have like a playground, a big playground, and like a Lego museum. And the Lego museum has, I think, some models in it, some MOCs, but also just some sets. Like there's like the London Bridge set is there. The Big Ben is there. The Sydney Opera House is there. But then there's also some stuff that looks like, as somebody did a micropolis of like maybe Manhattan. It's an island thing. I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm like, interesting. But a couple things came up when I was reading this. Was that, yeah, that's a little better. It's still not. can't tell if that angle is good. I'm trying to see. Maybe I've got a picture of it somewhere. So this was the, oh, maybe this, I can tell from this. I can't really tell from that. This is a selfie taking a selfie. Or selfies taking pictures, whatever. I try to do this where if people are taking selfies or taking pictures of each other, I try to do a selfie of them taking a picture. And I used to have a Tumblr account of that, just called Selfies Taking Selfies. Yeah, I can't tell what that angle is. This is the angle right here. And each angle is going to be different. Here's an angle right here, but that's kind of at a weird... I mean, that seems okay. Actually seems a bit steep. Like, if I went back, that seems a little better. I can't tell. Maybe that. Maybe 45 degrees is okay. We'll just go 45. We do 45. I can do... I can have it be supported in the background by these guys, is the thing. Like, I can put some of these back here and have it be supported, right? So I can have these just kind of hanging out. I can have these as big sections attached just like this, and then just have them sit on basically 45 slopes. And I don't have to have a ton of them. You know, a couple rows of them, something like that, just to keep, like, from these things kind of collapsing in on themselves. Be perfect. So, the trick is, will these remain 45 degrees going all the way up? And I think I ran into the problem where they don't. Like, you can already see it starting to... If this is a true 45 degree angle and this is set to 45 degrees, they should line all the way up, but I don't think they do. Anyway, back to the guy, back to the thing. A couple things came up while I was reading this message, is that I think I'm flattered that they want the capital to be in kind of a permanent location. They said they'd pay for it too. You can see the divergence here. It's almost already caught up. So either Bricklink's degrees aren't great, or these aren't, and I fail to think that Lego doesn't know how to set a 45 degree angle on something. But let's move this over here and we'll just test it, see what it actually is. The capital. So why are you building this stadium again? Just for fun, just cause. I'm hoping to kind of do the same thing with the Texas Capitol, where I get it designed, and then I show the front office, the Austin FC front office. I go, hey, would you like this displayed somewhere in the stadium or in one of the clubs? Here's how big it is. You're an MLS team. You got money to throw around. You just printed 20,000 shirts to give away at a game. This will cost you $10,000, maybe $8,000, depending on what the pieces are. I've got a group that'll put it all together for you, and then we can have it moved into your space. And if you have a way to cover it, it's yours. That's all, that's it. That's all I want to do. And see if they go for it. And I had a guy who was in the supporter group who is friends with the front office, went to an event with them and said, here's this guy who's doing this. He's already built kind of a small one. He really wants to do this big one. It'll cost you $6,000. And he's like, what would it take to get this done? I'm like, $6,000 and a place to build it. He's like, okay. So he brought this up with the front office people, the owners or the manager, the not principals, not stakeholders. I'm trying to like the board, the owners and stuff. Each of those angles is going 9.6 millimeters up and 8 millimeters over. So it's not 45 degrees if you look at the entire brick height. So after a certain thing, this stops being 45 degrees total because it keeps shifting over. Basically is what we're saying. So, I mean, the best way to look at it would be just give me a brick. We get a really long brick in here. And if we rotate this, uh, 360 minus 45 is 315. Yeah, so they're all still, oddly, they're lined up at 45, even after they get up here. They're still the same angle, they just keep shifting over. Google a Lego brick dimensions. All right. Lego brick dimensions. So he mentioned it to him, and they said they were interested, but they didn't want to they don't want to pay for a place to store it while it was being built, which is fine. I'm like, I can build it in my house as long as I build it in chunks, right? And then they can be assembled in a location for a shorter amount of time, just so we make sure that they, like a month, right? We can find a place for a month. Once it's all kind of built in small little, like 1 plate, 2 plate, 4 plate sections, maybe. I think the only one that's going to be tricky is the roof. I think the roof kind of has to be assembled all together. I think there'll be sections that maybe like the pillars and then like the corners of them, like we could do that. I don't know. Haven't got there yet. Still working on this. It says 45 degrees, but yeah, it's 8 millimeters by, and then it's got like a 1.6 thing here. So yeah. Maybe I make it. So what is this degree then? Let's see if we rotate this. It is now. God dang it. Still not right. Um, 311 seems pretty close. As long as it's got something to bump into behind it, that's fine. What's up, Cliff? Hey, Cliff's here. Not at the end of the stream. What's the date? Mark it on the calendar, folks. The reason I like these is because you can grab, for support purposes, you can grab these and you can grab these. So these would make great support pieces stacked up. And you could do sections. So if this was actually 45, let's change this to 45. Because I think that's a good look for the stadium, for the seating. So I've abandoned a couple conversation pieces, and I apologize for that. I am hopeful that they like what they see in terms of the design and think that this would be kind of a cool thing to have. It would be a very unique thing. Like, I don't know of another stadium that's got a super large Lego build of their stadium inside their stadium. I know there's a couple. The most famous one is like the Ohio State football stadium's one. I think there was a soccer stadium in the UK that somebody did. I don't know of any MLS stadiums that somebody's built a Lego version of it. So that's the other idea, is like the uniqueness. It's like, hey, let's be kind of cool and have this thing here. There's a pretty big Lego community here. We should, get these guys involved. Quite a few of us in our group are fans of the, so let's get rid of all this. So that's why I'm doing it. I just kind of want to do something fun. I really enjoy supporting the team, and this is just kind of, I think, a way to kind of support the team, is to do this. So let's do, just for fun, this is a thought experiment at this point. And if they don't like it, they don't like it, and they don't have to do anything with it. And then it'll just be a neat thing that I've done, or that I keep working on over the years. And maybe at some point I get the funds for myself to be able to do it. Right? So this looks like we could go 2 bricks and a plate. So if we repeat this and do brick. $50.19 is the angle. Okay. Of all the bricks together. I think that may be a little much for the seating area, though. Let's try it. Let's see what it looks like. So let's say 0. Let's start at 0. It's going to tip it that way. 50.19. Yeah, so it'll have to be 310, 90, 81. 309, 81. I always forget to put the V in there. That's more squished than the other one was. Yeah. That's actually more squished than the 45. So I'm trying to make this taller, appear taller. Again, this is still early. I'm not 100% convinced that this is a good way to do it, but this is, here's the only other thing that I can think to do to make it a little taller, is doing, and this just seems very boring, but it might be easier. let's say, let's do 8. Yeah, I do. Well, I had an idea too that instead of having this sloped, because it's not this is the only thing that's sloped, is like the only reason it's sloped is because it's built at stepped, right? It's built stepped. So if you're looking at it, this is the only part that's sloped, but it's not because it's a big slab that's sloped. It's because you've got things like this going up, right? And they just happen to be going at a certain angle, right? So it doesn't have to be like make it and then lean it. You can make it step up, and then that can be whatever angle you need it to be. So if we're looking at something like this, you know, if it needs to be at that angle, then you do, and we want to keep it like one row at a time, then you just do, let's see if I can figure this out, and still have chairs and a walkway in it. You just do this. And then you get, you know, you can still use these pieces. Let's get one of each. One of each. Just because I like the cheese wedges, and I already have a whole lot of cheese wedges. Then you got a walkway, but then you've got chairs. You know, like that. That's a lot steeper than 45, but... So that was the original thing, and I got rid of that. The original thing was having backing. So if you look at it the way I've got it set up, this is where, like, this will be where the stands come over this section, right? And underneath this side of the section, right here, are shops. These little concession stands right here, right? So they can be supported. It gets supported like right here, and then with these things supporting it on the back, right? So all along this side, all along like right about here, there's these supports of these shops, right? Also, to make it travelable or whatever, make it so each one of these is one section, right? That's one section to be built. That's another section to be built. And then they all hang off hinges, off of clips and bars. So you clip them in, and then they just fall. And wherever they fall to, that's your angle, right? So you just got to work it out to where does it attach to where it just goes clunk. And then you can have stuff underneath that it hits. So it's not just hitting at the bottom and then bowing in. You got those shops in the way, right? That hit right where it needs to be. It goes clunk and then just hits a couple points along the way. It's supported. It's right there. That was the original plan. And I still have the clips built in up here that I can use. And I can tear these apart into different sections just to make sure, right? They all don't need to be this. I still don't like the height that it is. I mean, it looks fine. The other one I was going to do was... because at this size, the seats all need to be different colors. I can't just do a swath of green. They need to be pretty individual. And I liked the cheese wedges because it made it... They're kind of rounded on the corners. So they do look like individual things rather than just a stack of bricks. And the other option was to do this and have them be a stack of bricks. Color a couple of those. A couple of these. And then a couple of those. Right? And then you just repeat this. And it's got the differential. And this would be a lot easier because you can get modified brick in some of these colors. I don't know which ones. That's one. That's one. You can get them in all the colors. These can be turned around to hold bars, clips, hinges, whatever you pulls to go into other things. So this is always an option too. And turned at, dang it. Turned at a certain angle, they might even look better. I'd have to recreate this completely. It's about the same. But in the end, this whole section might also be a little taller because this is based off snot bricks. And there's a little gap in here that looks like it could be the walkways, right? The little areas. But now I'm forcing the walkways in there. The problem with this is when you look at it like that, you don't see the walkways in between here. You don't. It's pretty flush. So I don't know. No, I don't want to do attendees. I want to do it with like an empty stadium. I was talking about this early on. The angle or the size of this is like just a little taller than these aren't called nano figures. They're a little bit bigger than nano figure size. This guy's black because the colors, this also worked out very well. Verde and black is the colors. So basing off the other rest of the sizes, these TV panels along here are like hip height. So these are just a little bigger than what they need to be. Or these are a little smaller. If they were like a third larger, it'd be perfect. And I still could. It would look kind of good. Have these like littering the walkways. So like not in the seats, but around on the concourse and stuff, have a bunch of these just kind of walking around. I think that'd be pretty cool. The size may not work, but I still think it's a good idea. So they'd be up here and stuff, right? But if I put in doors at some of the buildings and they're like giant doors and there's these little figures, it's like, we'll see. So anyway, that's where I'm at. This is probably okay. Like, it doesn't have to be like, I still think this looks good. It looks like that, right? I think I may be too worried about how exact it is. But so that's kind of what I'm going for. Let's get rid of all that. I'm just gonna make this a group so I can move it easily. For now. Group. So now I can do big pillars and attach clips on here and then just swing this whole thing around and just have it be whatever I want it to be. So this is the idea. This is actually how they did the stadium. And this is how I did the small version of the stadium because I got the idea from the Manchester United stadium. This is how they did it. They built each little seating section and the back side of it had clips and then there were hinges built underneath it and they just clipped on and they kind of went funk like that and just kind of fell. And that was where they landed because, you don't want to, because they wanted to have grilled bricks showing as the seats, which I thought was a great idea at that size. So that's kind of what I want to do here, but also buildable in this section right here is probably going to be pretty difficult. This section will be difficult because they're going to be above everything, but I still think it's kind of doable. So what I'll have to work on is breaking this up into sections on their own, and I think the natural break will be in between each entryway. I'll just have to make sure that these are all like snot brick, like 1x2 snot bricks, so it can still hold the stairway pieces in here with the steps. And I think the cheese wedges as steps work here too. They're pretty severe, but I think they look good with the railing. I don't think I put the railing on there properly. Looks like it needs to go in a little further. Looks like they're floating. Yeah, I like the way it looks so far. It's just I have to make sure that I can build it and it doesn't fall apart and it's not hollow and it's fully supported. And I really like getting the idea of getting 10 by 10 boxes and just putting huge sections of things in 10 by 10 boxes and like loading up a moving truck of all these and getting it to a space and having them all numbered and, you know, start with these row of, open those up. This section goes here. This section goes here. And once they're all together, then you can I'll put a couple plates and bricks right here to kind of make sure they all stay together. But being able to transport it easily is a thing because the capital was not something I transported easily, and I want to not do that again. I was very happy with the way. So let's. The other thing is, I'm all over the place. The other thing is, this is the main concourse. Did I get all of it? What are you doing all the way over here? Big dog, come here. Come here, big dog. Come here. Are you going to have to go back all the way over there? Come here. Come here, big dog. Come here, baby. Come on. Come here. Well, I want you guys to come over here. Come on. Come on. Dirty Kaylee. Yeah, big girl. Go, come here. Oh, come here. Up. Oh, big girl. Hi. This is the big Kaylee. Say hi, big Kaylee. Look at the screen. This is the big Kaylee. You're so pretty. Yeah. What are we doing? Are we making Lego stuff? Say hi, Kaylee. Everybody say hi, Kaylee. All right, you can go. I know this scares you. Oh my God. Okay, you can get down now. Boop. Where's your sister and your brother? Are they being good? All right. So weather alerts. This is all going to be, and this is another thing that I don't know that it's a good thing or not, but this is how I have the sections done for like the walkways, the concourses, because they all have to be raised up because the field itself is lower than the main concourse. There's always one brick, man. Don't do that. Always one brick that always wants to hang out and say, sorry, you didn't select me. Why is this lower than everything else? It's going to be hard to build this exactly like to the grounds that it needs to be. The stadium itself, you kind of approach it and kind of gradually walk up to it. I can't tell. I think that's right. So you gradually walk up to basically what is the entryway, and it's very gradual, like going up, and then you go in the seats, and then you go to and then the field. So since I can't dig through nothing, right? I can't dig through the bottom of a model without raising it up. This is me raising it up. This is how it gets raised up. And this can be filled in with whatever, like whatever I want to do, or it can just be left gray all the way around for cement. But it's so that when you get off the concourse and walk down into the seats, it's the same representation of where the field is. Which I think other stadiums probably, you just walk up to the stadium, ticket gate, there's the field, and then the seats go up from there. So Austin had to be different, which makes this part really hard. Let's go ahead and save for what little I actually did. I said I was going to take a break and work on a microfighter. Let's get to some small sections here. I've done what I wanted to and looking at some other stuff, so I'm going to take a break from this. Otherwise, I get mired in the... I don't want to get too locked into the minutia of stuff and not really even have a good game plan. I think I'm at a good spot right now, planning-wise. So I'm going to leave it at this. Base plates just never want to line up, They don't want to lay on the same level as everything else, and they don't want to ever snap together with anybody else, and it's just kind of a problem when it comes to planning stuff like this. Now that's all lower. The base is all lower. I'm trying to leave this a little cleaner than what I found it. There we go. Okay. All right, so moving on a little bit for the last 45 minutes. Let's do Phee's ship. So Phee is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it in here. Phee is a character in the Bad Batch. Oh, here's a perfect image right there. She, she's a pirate. But she calls herself like a liberator of something objects, archaic objects or something like that. Voiced by Wanda Sykes. She's actually a pretty good character. She introduces the crew to kind of an island. It's kind of like Greek island paradise refuge where they can go and not be soldiers anymore and kind of relax. And live a different life. And she knows the people there. I had a good one. Oh, there it is. Okay. I think the images that I was getting from the actual show were better. But anyway, she has a pretty cool ship. It's just a cargo ship for the most part, but it's got some guns and it's got some, it's got a pretty cool look. It reminds me of the drop ships from Alien a little bit, or Aliens. So I thought I had more saved here, but apparently I didn't. Probably just easiest to keep going the way I'm going. That's a little big. Let's do 6. Got to remember this is a microfighter. Also, I got to remember that thing comes up. So I need a bracket. Back to the dude who wants to buy the Capitol. I honestly don't have any idea what to do with it. I don't want to be rude and not answer, but at the same time, there are 3 caveats, and let me get these out of the way because I feel like I keep stumbling on this. One, it's not mine to really do anything with. I say that it's like 80% mine, right? The the lug, the group that I'm in funded it. And I don't know how. I have no idea how it got funded. Um I thought it was part of like a lug bulk order. I thought maybe it was a project support, but nobody I talked to seems to really know or is willing to tell me. And that's fine. It's been years. I don't care, but it makes me feel like I did the design. I did most of the building, 80% of the 70% of the building. I had a lot of people come over to my house and help. I had my kids help. I had a handful of people help me transport it and rebuild it. Um, so I don't feel like it's 100% mine to do really whatever I want to with. And I think it's in a good spot at the Texas Capitol. They get a lot of kids going through there on field trips. It's a good vacation spot for people to kind of go check things out. It's a great place to drop off flyers for Brick Rodeo because they've got a table full of flyers. It's got a plaque on it that mentions our group. It's in a really good spot. If I move it to Madisonville, Texas, nobody's going to see that. The 20s of peoples that may pass through there in a week. I don't know. So that's issue one, is I feel like it's not going to get the same attention that it does and bring eyeballs to our group and our convention as it would where it is, if it was moved. The other thing is, and it's not mine to do with, so I have to get like I feel like I need to talk to the lug about it. Maybe up one. Maybe not. This is gonna be pretty easy. The other thing is he is offering to buy it, but I don't know how much it was originally to buy. That's not the right shape. So I can't really do, I can't come up with a number. I'm like, well, I think we spent about $6,000 to get all the pieces. I think. I don't really know. I know I personally put in about $300 to get some pieces. I know I used my lug bulk order one time to get a lot of pieces for it. I know a lot of other people put in their lug bulk order to get pieces to donate to the project. I don't know how much they spent on that. So I think like, I don't think 10 grand is like a number that is out of the ordinary for this. And I don't know where that money goes. Would it go to me? Half of it go to me, half go to the lug. We could pad our lug coffers. That'd be a great pizza party. That'd be a great way to rent a place for a holiday party, something like that. Spend it on travel if we all, everybody gets to go to Brick Can or Chicago Brick World or something. And the other thing is moving it. Like, I'm not going to move it. I moved it once and it fell apart. It is not something that it fell apart traveling across town. I can't imagine traveling 3 hours. It would have to be built and shored up so much that it would take days and weeks to get it to the point where it would travel safely. And I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. If they want to do it, that's fine, but I'm not going to. So there was a member of our group who kind of jokingly in Discord was like, if 20,000 and I'll worry about transportation. And I'm kind of like, yeah, but in the end, I don't necessarily think it would be a good place to do it outside of, the capital of Texas. I think it's in a good place where it belongs. I think where it is where it belongs. But I'm trying to figure out a way to say it without seeming like a snob or a butt. It's just weird. Like at first I thought it was spam too. Or a scam. I'm like, I'm not answering this. And then I went and looked it up. I'm like, oh no, this is an actual place. And they actually have a little Lego museum. And that museum just happens to also have like some sets in it. It's like, okay. But they're all buildings mainly. Agreed. I think I 100% agree. Like, I think when I hear there's a guy who's one of the curators there, and he talks about seeing the kids' faces light up when they come in there on their school trips. And it's one of those where it's a field trip to the Texas Capitol building or the state capitol. And they're already kind of like, I don't want to go here. Can we go to the zoo? Can we go to an arcade? We're going to the Capitol. That's old and dusty, right? And then they come in and they see a big Lego model and they love it, right? So I'm like, that totally makes it worthwhile. How do I attach this? There's these things. I could turn upside down. But I don't know what they attach to. Maybe a bit complicated. I also have to start thinking of colors. How many of these in sand blue? Nope. Yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know what the what the numbers in this museum thing are, like how many people they get a day or a year or anything like that. Let's make that in dark orange. It's funny, I've made her outfit almost matches her ship. Like, if you've seen her outfit, that's her outfit. She wears like blue and like dark orange, and that's her ship. Blue and dark orange. That's a visual cue that you know it's. I don't know if that means anything, like if that's a visual cue that she's a good guy or what, but I'm gonna see if I can find her. What episode was it? They were stealing something. It was a heist. Was it this one? Can't show too much of it. No, not that one. Thanks for going back to the thing that I had selected earlier. Wasn't Harbinger, wasn't Identity Crisis. Wasn't that one. I think it was after that one. All right, so the group was on a. Was it the Juggernaut? Yeah, there it is. Okay. It was the Juggernaut. All right. So, nothing on the back of this really. It almost looks like the back end of a Tidarium shuttle. Yeah, they're letting the Juggernaut kind of go over the cliff here. That's a good look at the front entryway, which I'm not going to build in. So to be quick and dirty about it, I think I might just say that. I might just use all three of those reasons, and be like, we're really happy where it is. It's not, first of all, it's on a lease to them and they renew it every couple of years and they ask about it if we want to keep renewing it. It's in a great location to appeal to a lot of kids. A lot of people see it. People in Austin know that it's, built by people in our group and they kind of use it as a reason to start coming to our group. So it's a good recruitment tool. It's a great place for us to leave flyers and information. And honestly, it's a lot to move, and it'll probably not survive another trip. So, for all those reasons, I don't know that I can actually actively do that for you. But I will say, if there are other models that you see from our group that you'd like to commission somebody to make or something, please reach out. Something like that. I think and I'll say this. I've always said that if the visitor center gets too, if they get tired of it, and they're like, we're done with it, we need to move, we'd like to make room for another exhibit, and can you come get it? At that point, I've always thought we would just roll in with a tarp and be like, yeah, let's just dump it into the tarp. And have a big show of it, right? And that, Bart does a bit for Instagram kind of thing. It's a big, we can have people show up as like, I don't know, almost like, since nobody really put in a whole lot of their own stuff, we could we could dump it all out and we could bag up 1 pound bags of parts at a time and then sell the bags of parts to people and use the money for that for like the Dell Children's or something. I don't know. Um, so there's these little pontoon things coming off the back. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or not. I mean, it's pretty easy just to go like, plate 1x3. And then a tile. I would personally taking on the responsibility to get it moved properly to another permanent location where it impacted people like it does today. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's in a, I don't like the idea of moving it, so I don't know. then I'm going to put a bunch of these up here. Pretty much done. The only thing is I like... I want to figure out a way. Oh, I've got an idea. Move these out. Bracket. And then anything in the front, really? Or is it just blocky? It's just blocky, but I can add colors in there now. I shouldn't copy and mirror. I also got a communication from a group that is in outside of College Station that want to start their own lug. And they wanted some advice about how to do it. And so we've been chatting. And they're off to a good start, I think. They're doing... they're trying to figure out what shows they can go to and display at. And I was like, that's really great. I wish you luck. They sent me an email and were like, is this something that we should be considering doing? And it was a like a college fair. And I was like, sure. Like if you want to. Doesn't seem like the perfect thing, but I mean, I don't know. I guess that works. I think I need a better solution for this, but I don't know what else to do at the moment. There isn't a piece that's just... because this could move all the way over like that if I could figure out how to attach it. I got an idea. Nope, I don't have an idea anymore. I need something that's like this, but the bar is on top. So I basically told them that it was also one of these places where, or events where you would have to pay to get a table. And I was like, look, we're a pretty big, I won't say we're the biggest one in Texas. I think Houston is probably the biggest lug in Texas. Maybe San Antonio's our size. Maybe TBRR's our size. I think Dallas is a little smaller. But I was like, I think we're one of the more active and largest of the Texas groups, aside from Houston. And we won't pay to go to a place. Like, we won't look up places and be like, oh, we'll pay $200 and get a table there. Because the tables aren't very big. And $200 you're for like a 6-foot table or an 8-foot table. I could fill an 8-foot table by myself, and I'm not going to pay $200 to go sit there by myself with just my models to recruit for a group. Like if we're going to go and we're going to pay $200 to be there, or 300 or more, I want 10 people to be able to go. Like I want most of the lug to be able to go if we're paying. We're not going to get a small little thing like they do at Comic Cons where it's like, hey, Artist Alley, $200 for half a table and you get to sit next to somebody for 3 days. It's like, no. So I told her we usually wait till somebody approaches us. And even if it's a weird thing, like it's not Lego related at all, we'll make it work somehow, right? We'll figure out a reason for us to be there. People always like looking at Lego. It doesn't matter the event. They're like, there's Lego here? That's really cool. It's like, yeah, we'll make it work. I was like, what I would do is I would approach them and say, would you like to have our group display some Lego for your incoming college people? Because it was like a college job thing to have in the lobby, right? So when they're on their way in, they could see some stuff. And just kind of let it go at that. I was like, for nonprofits and for not-for-profits and for people who don't have any budgets, paying $200 to, do something like that. Maybe early on, maybe like in a business expense or get yourself noticed, maybe. But I was like, I wouldn't do this with my group. I would approach them and say, is there a chance we could display with you guys and not get a table? Because we're not really a vendor. And I think the tables were more for like vendor related stuff, and see what they say. But I was like, yeah, you're on the right track, getting your name and likenesses and, information out there and stuff. Just, make sure it's what you want to do and you can get the group of people that you want there to do it. And I think it'll be great. I think I would rather do... These are pretty small. I don't necessarily want to do that, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could do. Skis? Those are too big. Like that size? Are these too big? Oh, that's way too big. That's also way too big. I guess those are minifig scale skis. I didn't realize how small I'm making this ship. We got 45 total parts. 4. But they're already starting off on a good footing. And I'm hoping that our lug gets to the point where people are suggesting events that we could go to. I know Dove sent me a few things about like events at the HEB Center up in Cedar Park and events that they're doing. And maybe getting in on some of a ground floor of, hey, our group could build some mosaics for artists that come in and have like a big mosaic of an album that they did on display in the lobby. Is that something you'd like for us to do? And we can incorporate that into like project support, or we could do like somebody can design it in studio and we can say, I can't get, dark nougat. Okay. Get people involved in doing that kind of stuff. I'm kind of nervous about our group a little bit in that we don't have a lot of people that seem to want to be involved in events outside of our big convention, which is fine. Our big convention takes a lot to do, but I also kind of want to make sure that we're not blind to our group doing other things, and reaching out to people and saying, is a Lego group displaying stuff in your store or something over a weekend something you would like? Do you have an event coming up? Is there a big thing coming up? Talking to libraries in the city and seeing if, the surrounding cities, see if there's things that you'd like to do with people. This is all just gray. I think I'm going to make these dark gray just to be a little... make one of these dark gray. Because we want to be able to display and we want to be be able to have people know who the group is and things like that. So I just want to make sure that, and I'm not really telling anybody anything they don't know by saying any of this. Anybody who's in a group wants their group to grow, wants them to be successful. Why is that off? Is it not attached to anything? This isn't attached to anything. That's why. Oh, that's gross. Why did I do that? Nope. Oh, because she's not attached to anything. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. None of this was really attached to anything. I got all excited that we were almost done, and then I was like, whoops. None of this touches each other, so gotta get it all separated. Group her. Get her out of the way. Now she sits in here, but we need to make sure all this other stuff connects. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so we get rid of that piece. And I guess this piece for now, and that piece, and we can do this. But then I don't know if she can sit in there. We'll have to see. Bring these two together, and these two together. Okay. And then bring this in here somewhere. Oh, why is that at an angle? That's so. I needed to tell her this when Dove emailed me about that. There was a lady at when we did the event at can her little toes fit under there? Nope, her arms aren't tall enough for that. Okay, so let's back that up and raise that up to another plate. We did an event a while ago at Austin City Limits, the ACL Moody Theater had a realty convention, realty expo, realty technology expo. It was like a group that developed tools and resources for realtors, and they were having an expo, and so I can go right there. And yeah, but this doesn't really show. Maybe I'll get rid of that brick, but I don't know how to get rid of that, or that bracket. I don't know if I can. So they asked us, they wanted to do a thing where they had us display some stuff, but they also wanted to do like a hands-on thing where they bought a bunch of brick, and I told them that they're like, what's the best way to like get a ton of brick? Do we just go to the Lego store and do it? I was like, honestly, probably the best way to do it is go look at Walmart's and find those big boxes. And I think at the time they were on sale of like 1,500 pieces each for like $45. Just a big creative, they're called creator sets or creative designs or something like that. And there's different types. There's like animals and transparent and machine and stuff like that. as like get like 6 boxes of those, and then just have them in like bowls on a table, and get online, get like 16 by 16 plates somewhere. Some of those sets will have them. Otherwise, just go to Bricklink and get them, or the Pick a Brick site on Lego. And I walk them through all this, and then just have it out on a table, and people can build their own houses. That's your tie to realty. That's your tie to real estate. And then at the end, they can, like, if they want to, you know, vote on the best one or auction one off or something like that. And then we can have basically like our modulars, like if we've made our own modulars or something, where we can have like a neighborhood of houses or something. So it's all kind of building, neighborhood, housing related Lego stuff. So we can curate stuff like that. The library one, they're like, if it can be book related, and we're like, well, I don't know what book related means. It's a mystery, it's science fiction. Do you want actual books being built? You know, but you try to work with the groups that you're working with. So there, while we were displaying there was this lady who worked at, and she was like a talent coordinator or something for ACL. And she was basically saying the same thing. Like, we could build something, mosaics out of albums, or album mosaics for the artists that were coming in, and have them kind of displayed each time. And I was like, we could do that. Like, if we had enough lead time, and like we knew who, like, we could do it a week turnaround, right? We could, that's just too much. That's us giving up our own parts to do something. But if we were able to order parts somehow, and if you guys had a budget, we could do it for you as long as you paid for all the brick. But that's kind of a turnaround thing. Like, we can't do it at the drop of a hat, but if we had a month lead time, something like that, you know, we could do that. So I'm always looking for things like that, but I'm always trying to stay aware that I don't like volunteering people's time, and I don't like volunteering people's bricks. Temporarily volunteering people's bricks, like if you built something and it's up at a place temporarily and then you get it back, beautiful, that's great. But like, I don't like volunteering people's stuff if it's going to be a permanent display. That's something I would want that entity to work with us to buy it, so we could use lug bulk or project support or something. But they would pay us for that, you know. So right. That's going to be in September. I have it tentatively on the calendar as September 27th. Let me see if I actually put it on my calendar. I figured that was probably a good end of summer kind of thing. It may be the weekend of September 27th, 28th, whatever, I think, or maybe the 21st. Oh, that's going to suck if I have to do that. That's going to be a game. Let me look real quick what I told them. Just to make sure. Austin Beer Works, Lego. I had to remind them of it there. I'm like, hey, I'm just checking in, making sure it's on the calendar. If you guys need to do any promotional work or anything. 28th. So September 28th. I'm going to go ahead and put that on my calendar. So that's a Saturday, September 28th. What game were they playing? Oh, man. Okay. Well, I may have to miss that game depending on when we get done. Bricks and Brews. I'm going to say, like, it's not an all day, but let's say it goes from 10 a.m. to, they may not open till 11 or something. And then we'll say it goes till 6 p.m. And people can bounce whenever they want. I'd guess at location, Austin Beer Works. And it's at the Sprinkle Valley location on Springdale Road. So now I've got it saved in there. That is going to be kind of a smaller thing. I want more people involved with that, but I think we just have to fill like a room or two. And I don't think the rooms are like any bigger than my room. So we'll have, if we could get 5 or 6 tables in each room and fill those, that's probably great. And I think people will probably be hanging on to a few things from Brick Rodeo. If I say, all right, don't quite yet trash your Brick Rodeo MOCs or start reclaiming those pieces yet, unless you got another show to go to and you want to take some stuff. Because we've got this thing coming up in September. We got this thing coming up in September that isn't Bricks Colleen. I did notice that the invitation to Bricks Colleen went out to Austin, San Antonio. Not us, not Houston. So there's that. Let's see, this goes, let's just put a brick in here. That's fine. I liked Bricks Colleen, but I understand it's not going to be a thing we're going to be kind of doing anymore, which kind of sucks, but I don't know. This can now be, get rid of that. This still isn't attached. Oh no, it is attached. Okay. We'll do this again. I liked Bricks Colleen because it was super chill. Definitely a different group of people involved in terms of like who came to see it. Lot more families. I kind of wish we had stanchions because it was a fairly large event, but like kids were coming right up to the table. And I was like, these kids are going to be taking my stuff. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to do one across. Let's do a plate across. But I still think it was all right. It was a full weekend. I kind of wish we had set up as a group more. Oh, wait. I need to put something under here to hold this together. That was the problem. And that's still off. Why is that still off? I didn't move it all the way in. That's why. Get that out of the way. More games and stuff, like stuff to do in the evening for the lug members. I think it was kind of all like a, well, if you want to do it, then do it kind of thing. This is becoming a frustrating exercise. The Austin one? Or the text lug one? Okay. I would fire up Discord. Let me see if I can fire up Discord without this screwing everything up. I don't care. At this point, I don't care. I just... Whatever. Let's see. Yeah. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. All right. So there's that. Back to this ship. We've got 5 minutes to get this figured out, and then I want to be done with it. So this is going to nestle up here. So let's get a plate. I will reiterate, I liked Bricks Colleen, like, quite a bit. I had a lot of fun. It was literally my first. This is not going to hold up very well. It was my first away game kind of thing. Like it was my first not Austin convention. So like I had a pretty good time with it. Inverted slope. Oh, slope curved, probably. I had a lot of fun, like getting my own hotel and just kind of being there for my own. Um, like I wasn't part of a group that was um, running the thing, so I could kind of relax a little bit. Um, I would have like the only problem that I had, I think, was that again, I would have liked to have maybe had more to do after hours. But I get it. It's Colleen. It's not like a big hopping metro Austin, Dallas kind of thing like that where there's lots to do. It's a smaller town. It's an army or it's a armed forces town. Um, and so those things are limited. But like the one thing I did, I found like a 10-minute drive, 5-minute drive, not that far away, a brewery that had a chicken and waffles food truck. And I was like, dudes. And so I told like everybody, I was like, and I know that our Lego group is not a bunch of drinkers. They're not a lot of beer drinkers in there or drinkers in general. So I kind of am on my own about that. Like, I think there's a handful of people who are like, yeah, I'll join you, and then won't drink anything. And that's cool. Right. And there's definitely not like, I'm snooty about beer. Let's go get a nice beer somewhere. One night I went out with like 3 other people and we went to just like a bar and grill, and I had a beer that was not good. Um, and then, so I found this other place. Oh, now she's too low. So now I got to put a tile in there. And then I found this other place that I was really excited about. And I told everybody, I was like, hey, we're going to go. Or I'm going to go. Y'all should join me. And everyone went, yeah, we'll head over there. I was like, sweet. So I get there and I'm basically by myself for like the whole night. And I mean by myself. I walk into this place and it's the bartender and a dude on a guitar with his dog, who is a service dog, right? Dude's like, he's very punk looking and he's doing like covers of like 80s and 90s songs. I'm like, okay, well, this music's rad. I went outside, got my chicken and waffles, came back in. There was like a family in there. There was like a mom and a dad and a couple kids. And after a while, they left. And it was me and the bartender and the singer on a Friday night. Was it Friday night? Saturday night at like 8 o'clock. And I'm like, even if none of the Lego people came out, where is everybody on a Saturday night? You know, I was just like, whatever. So I was kind of like, yeah, I'll do my own thing, I guess. But I should. I think last year, or last time, I didn't, because I feel like we had a lot to do. And I'm worried that we will this time too. I also am not staying at the hotel, so I don't want to get like blitzed and then drive home. But I could take an Uber, you know. Or ask somebody, hey, can I stay on your pull-out couch tonight? Something. I don't know. We'll see. But I feel like a lot of times we were just doing organizational stuff. Well, I tried in Houston too. I was like, what are we doing? And I couldn't really find anybody to do anything with that wasn't like, I think we were all, it was like the events were like, we're going to go into one of the conference rooms, one of the rooms attached to the event. And we're going to do Lego related stuff and bring your own drinks. I'm like, okay. So I guess that's the way things are done. Yeah. Just hanging out. So I don't know. I guess I'll try to be more social about it next time. So it's noon. I think I'm pretty much done with this. I have to figure out how to attach this somehow. And I'm pretty sure I could figure out a way to do that here in a couple minutes, but I'm done for now. I'm going to stop talking. I can feel my throat starting to get a little sore and scratchy. So I'm going to go rest for a bit and drink some water and take some ibuprofen. James, thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate the conversation. Oh, I'm definitely doing the robot drafts. Those are fun as heck. I really like that. I'll bring my 20 or 40 bucks or whatever to get a couple slots and get some parts. Those are really neat. Thanks for hosting those. I will be back Thursday, I think. Let me make sure before I say anything. This next week or so is going to be real tough during the day because of work. And then next weekend is, oh, you know what? Thursday, I may not. I'll have to keep it. Maybe a game time decision, but we have training for stuff, work related stuff, but it starts at 6 o'clock at night. So if I'm done by 8 o'clock and I'm able to get dinner at some point in there, I will do like a real quick stream. I don't know what yet. I don't have a new set to build. It's probably just gonna be more studio stuff for a while. Oh, you know what I could do? I have an idea. I've got stuff I want to do with my castle wall and my remaining Mars base stuff. So maybe Thursday I'll plop down the Mars base stuff and we'll build some extra stuff on there just for fun. Yeah, why don't we do that? So I will see y'all Thursday, hopefully. If not, have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you guys soon. Be safe and build some Lego while you're at it.